Hello and welcome to February 14th, 2022. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm Kurt, and this is my daily good life meditation. I do this every day to remind myself of my life objectives and principles and to see how I did applying these yesterday, how I slept last night, which is a measure of how well I did, and then to plan for the coming day. First, yesterday and last night. Yesterday was a Sunday and a day off, and I spent the day with my wife, Yumiko, largely just having fun and doing a couple of errands. It was a really fun day yesterday. We went to Irvine, which is our old home, and still feels like our home in a way, even though we don't live there. I think Irvine's going to be a tough one for us to get over. We've had lots of homes, and as I said in yesterday's video, I think it was, Irvine kind of still feels that way. Orange County, that is, feels that way. I was asked what it is about that area that is so attractive. It's it's the atmosphere, literally and figuratively. Literally, it's the marine layer, which is that, of course, that air that is packed with ocean goodness, the moisture and the smell of the sea, and to a lesser degree the smell of the sea, but it's mostly the moisture, and then the moderating effect that has on the climate. It tends to balance everything out. No, not the extremes of heat are not very extreme. On either side, it just kind of mellows everything out. Days are more kind of predictable. At least that's what the marine layer does here in Southern California and along the coast from, Santa Barbara down to like San Diego and beyond. I'm sure it's the case everywhere. It was like that in Humboldt as well. But although it was more, the extremes were more extreme up there due to the big storms. So that has a way of making the weather, things pleasant and nice. It really is. Out here I get more allergies because of the desert air, and then of course things are extremely hot in the summertime and very cold in the winter. That's the easy one. The hard one is to describe. I didn't even know if I wanted to try to answer this publicly. Not that very many people will see this. But it's the figurative one. I'll just go ahead and say it. The coast. The coast is a draw for very interesting people. And people who really, because it's a more expensive place to live, because it is a more expensive place to live, I think, and it takes more resources and effort to eke out a living along the coast here in California, in Southern California. Well, I think all the way up and down, up to San Francisco area and beyond, it's the case. The people who wind up living there tend to be fascinating people, for the most part. And those people kind of have an aura about them. I don't mean it like a supernatural aura. I just mean that that energy kind of emits, in a way, that positive, optimistic curiosity and energy to succeed and drive to understand and question. I think it's more of a cosmopolitan field, maybe Maybe it's the same thing that happens in big cities, or traditionally happens when big cities were the place, right? I mean, Samuel Johnson used to describe that when a man in the 18th century, when a man got tired of London, he was tired of life. He was finished with life. At a time when London was one of the world's great, and still remains, but at that point a great cosmopolitan area. He had little time. Dr. Johnson had little time for applying his life outside of London, even though he was from Lichfield himself, a much different place. So that's what it is. It's the atmosphere, literal and literal. I guess it is literal in both cases. The climate and the atmosphere of humanity there. And since Yumiko and I have always resided in that type of place, be it in the college town of Arcata where we met, which was small, but being a college town, almost by definition, embodied that sense, and being close to the sea, or whether that was, Shizuoka or Osaka or Fukuroi or Shimizu, where we lived, the places that we've lived in, or Sakai or Chiba, all the various cities where we've lived in Japan, all by the coast. It's hard not to be by the coast in Japan. Or Santa Barbara or Goleta or Irvine. They've all been coastal cities. This is the first time it hasn't been. And I miss that atmosphere in both senses. We don't have the marine layer here. And we don't have the human marine layer either. There's a phrase. So I hope that answers the question. Let's do the good life. Now my allergy medicine hasn't kicked in yet. I'm feeling it. I wish I could wake up at 2 or 3 hours before I wake up and do this. Take my medicine. I was up a little bit early. Oh, speaking of last night, I didn't sleep. I slept all right, but I was up, like at 3 o'clock as usual, maybe 3:30. Usual work anxiety. Did I tell you how much fun I had with my wife yesterday? She and I just really enjoyed our outing. We had such a nice breakfast we went to a place called Corky's, and I think it's Corona. It was our second time there. We just kind of found it by Yelp that helped us to find it. It was as American on a breakfast joint as they come. And it's a topper. I need to give them a Yelp review. I mean, fast seating, delightful staff. The people are as people as they get. It's really nice. The people are people. Nothing. Just customers are nice, but staff is great. Food is fantastic, and they've got a senior menu to die for. Yumiko got the omelet, which actually had 3 ingredients. Came with 3 ingredients. It was like $11 or $12, and she got the home fries and toast, no less. And I got the French toast set, which came with a 2-egg scramble and a little bit of bacon and 1 piece of bacon and 1 piece of sausage, and just enough food for the 2 of us. And we had such a delightful time. We sat and we talked about things and planned for our day, and then we went down to Costa Mesa. I think it was Costa Mesa. No, where was it? I think it was Costa Mesa for the Mitsuwa, the Japanese market there. No. Tokyo Central is where we went. And then we went to the other Japanese restaurant just up the street from it. Got all of our ingredients. And then we came home and I watched this. Well, I watched the Super Bowl with Mully, kind of, and the Discord folks. We were all watching it together, and it was fun. I watched the whole thing. I even took the dogs for a walk and still watched it while we were walking. And Yumiko even joined us. But the main thing is, I had such a fun time with Yumiko, and I'm really looking forward to our retirement years. Well, we can spend that time together and sleep in when it rains. So we had that. But I didn't sleep so well because I've got today we're having the pre-kickoff meeting for my big project. I'm ready. I've got all my ducks in a row as much as I could be, except I really want to finish reconciling the budget. Something's not quite right in the budget, but I think I can get that done this morning. That, and then, so I'm nervous. I'm always nervous just always, just in my nature. I always worry with work. Always have, and I guess I always will until I stop working. The good life. 7 objectives. To be always ready to die. To make good and effective use of time. To develop and maintain good and sound life principles. To cultivate good emotional reactions. To perform good actions. And to recognize true limits and true opportunity, and one thing slowly. How the hell did I come up with 8? I know I covered them because I started the fingers wrong. It looked like I did 8. I'm pretty sure I got the 7. Now my 30 principles. Principle of war, the principle of reason, the homunculus, the Anchorhold, home of good and evil, purpose, atomic principle, principle of nature, the pirate ride, maturity, that's 10. Social principle, public speaking, temperance, the horror show, that which must be born, 15. The Feast of Offal, distraction, the great light, no, agency in the great indifference, the best seat in the house, the path of wildness, it's 20. The risk of avoiding risk, sin and damnation, complete oblivion, the great life adventure, season of philosophy, 25. Arena and utility, bullseye aim, arena and utility, nothing, the uphill climb, nothing is enough, 29, and number 30 is the principle of fun. Well, that's what I would call a lightning round, and I reserve the right to do that when I'm allergied out. It's funny that what I just did there, that's one of the reasons why I started doing this on the camera, was that for years before I started doing this every day on the camera, I would do this in my head, namely, and I wouldn't do it first thing when I woke up because I was busy racing around and doing stuff. I would do that while I was riding my motorcycle on my commute, and I would do it. And there were days that I would do it and I would do a really good job. In fact, when I first started doing this, I did it aloud a number of times on the motorcycle with the camera running. I think I only had like 10 or 15 principles back then. But I would find that more often than not, I would do that lightning round thing. We're just enumerating them, right? Categorically. And I was dissatisfied with that. I was like, you're going too fast. You know, you need to dwell on these things. You need to think about them. You know, otherwise you're just, you know, it's like tapping rosary beads, right? I mean, it's useful, but it's not very satisfying. And probably not so useful, in fact. So let's see, how am I going to do today? Well, let's just plan this out. I'm going to finish this early. I'm going to finish this in under 20 minutes, when usually it can go, you know, 30 to 40 minutes. So I've got a few tens of minutes extra. After I finish this, I'll upload it, start the upload process. I'll read the Bible. I'm reading Psalm 4 today. Really enjoying the Psalms, now that I understand better what they are. I did some background reading, you know, and understanding the nature of how wisdom is conveyed through the Psalms, and how that wisdom connects and relates to all other Near East cultural wisdom literature. So I'll read my Bible, Psalm 4, like I said, and then after that I'll start getting the day together. I have to make a salad. Then as soon as the sun comes up enough, I'll take the dogs out for a walk, and then I'll feed them, and then I'll have my breakfast. Then I'll come up and I'll get started in earnest. Oh, did I mention yesterday? I said yesterday was such a fun day. Another thing that Yumiko and I did was we went to Book Off, and had a fun time at the bookstore. So I've got a couple of books that I added to the shelf up there. And then I'm distracting myself, Kurt. After that, we'll start the work day in earnest. My first meeting is at 8:30 with my co-project manager. That'll be pretty simple and straightforward. We'll just go over the open items for the project, talk about the budget, and then planning meeting that's coming up. And then I will. 2 things I would like to do today. 3 things I would like to, in addition to the meetings. I want to get my budget straightened out for the project. Complete, if possible, my contract review. Would that be great to do that before the meeting? And then 3, get ready for tomorrow's first training event. I'll be training for another project that I'm doing. And that's it. I think I can do it. I'm already, I still feel it. My stomach is knotted. There's nothing to be done about it. It's just the way that I react to work. I get anxious. And all my years of living and working, I've been trying to find a way around that, and it never works. So this is just the way I am. It's my nature, and it's something that I must bear. All right, that's it. Have a good day. Be safe, but not too safe. Bye-bye.